What's up YouTube, this is Fake, bringing you a deck profile today, and today we're going to be showing you a very unique Shaddoll plant variant. Got inspiration off this build from my friend Travis at Locals. I saw him bringing his own unique variant twist to his build when he brought up the concept. Tried out his variant, actually liked it a lot, so I decided to build my own version of it. And before I go any further, I'm just going to reiterate that shout out to my friend Travis. Thank you for the inspiration of this build, it's a lot of fun, and without further ado, let's get started. For the Shaddoll lineup, kept it somewhat basic in strategy, got 2 Beast, 2 Squamata, double Dragon, double Hedgehog, and double Falco. This build mainly tries to get off its more consistent plays, but also because of the kind of space crunch in this specific build, wasn't able to keep too much of any of these guys at 3, let alone just barely being able to fit in 2 each. But so far it hasn't backlashed on me, and all of them have pulled through at some point or another. And then for the other generic parts of the engine, we also run triple Mathematician. This is still very much needed at 3 in this build to help pull off most of your plays. And the one Felis Lightsworn Archer, because who doesn't like Mathematician, Felis, instant archetype Magician / Felis being in there to help all of your fusion plays as the added light target. Now here's where some of the fun aspect of the build comes in. I run triple Lonefire Blossom. Typically, if you see Lonefire in your hand and you're able to safely summon them without disrupting any of your own plays, I just go through all 3 of them right off the bat with its effect to get them to the graveyard as quickly as possible for a unique reason. And then at the tail end of the combo, I run double Homunculus The Alchemic Being, and this has officially killed any chance of me running the Equip Fusion Shaddoll card in this build, because Alchemic Being actually does all the work for you on this one. Because for most people that don't know this guy's effect, he can, once per turn, he can change his attribute to any attribute. So you can go turn 1, triple Lonefire Blossom, go into Homunculus Alchemic Being, have a Shaddoll monster Wayne in hand, declare war attributes, set 1 El Shaddoll Fusion. Did say if you do get that Necros matchup, or any matchup that's heavy on the spell summoning, you can use the El Shaddoll Fusion right off the bat with the now water attribute Alchemic Being, and then just disrupt a lot of plays. It's a controller that people don't see coming, and for the people that do realize it right away, they are forced to use resources on this guy right off the bat. And that helps open up a lot more Shaddoll plays for you later on in the game. And then for the other light attribute targets, we run double Effect Failure. Plenty of effects in the game that you do not want set off on the field. Effect Failure is definitely a needed component for this build. And 1 BLS, because it's easy to get lights in the graveyard, plenty of darks, go figure. That is it for the monster lineup. On to the spells. I run triple Shaddoll Fusion. Still think that this guy is good at 3, especially if your opponent leads off with heavy extra deck plays. I just haven't seen this backlash at me at less than 3, and I typically want to see fusion cards in my hand right off the bat. And then the triple of the Morph standard, El Shaddoll Fusion. Works like this guy, except from being unable to use from the deck, but this is your pusher for OTK plays and react plays. And then for the next pair of spells, the reason why you want all of your Lonefire Blossoms in the graveyard as soon as possible, double Mark of the Rose, or as I like to call the Snatch Steal of this build without being Snatch Steal. It's definitely a welcome part of this build, especially testing this out against this Teller matchup, being able to steal their diamonds or other problematic monsters that you might face with other builds. Just being able to get that free steal after banishing one of your Lonefire Blossoms already used up, steal their monster, attack over, then typically, since you do run more of a gambit of fusion monsters in your build, you can combo it with your El Shaddoll fusion right away, and it just helps add on to the OTK plays or reversal plays. Very fantastic card for this variant. And then for the 1-of spells, you run 1 Raigeki and 1 Stole Charge. That's it for the spells. Onto the traps. Like I said, I like more of the OTK aspect in this build, so I do run triple Sinister Shadow Games. A really awesome reactive card, and it keeps me in the fight. And in case I don't get to my Alchemists or want to start those loops, I do still run one Shaddoll Core. Just very much needed in the Shaddoll build. And then for the general traps, I run double Mind Crush. A lot of builds that search out there, so I gotten really used to main decking those two. And then Reign of Destruction, Solemn Warning. And for now, I'm main decking Crush Card Virus, mainly for the fact that Clees are this build's weakest matchup. And that comes into me liking running triple Sinister Shadow Games, because if I get the instinct that they're running Clees right off the bat, Sinister Shadow Games into a Falco face down, and want to wipe out those guys from the hand right off the bat. And if you use it at the key time against Necropos players as well, it can really disrupt a lot of their plays. The only thing I have to say it's really bad for this card is the BA and the Inferno matchups, because then Crush Card Virus does turn into a little bit of a dead card. Still working out the side strategy for that one. But the key purpose of the Crush card is attack your weakest matchups. That's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. I run just 2 rank 4 Exceeds, 1 Silent Honor Arc, and 1 Exciton Knight. Typically don't see any of these guys in most of my games, and these two are more of your control duo for some plays, so I like having those two in there just for those rare occurrences. Then for the synchros, little count, got 1 Armades, 1 Goyo Guardian, 1 Arcanite Magician, and 1 Leo Keeper of the Sacred Tree. I might rework this build a little bit, just see if I can't fit in a Star Eater with this build, especially with Falco core plays, but so far these 4 facilitate the plays nicely. And then for the fusions, we run the standard El Shaddoll construct, and I'm going to get this out of the way right off the bat. Thank you, Konami, for leaving these at 3. Before the sec profile, I was sweating bullets on what would happen to construct. Thank you for keeping them at 3 for now, and I'm still going to be enjoying my plays for a while. And then for the other fusions, run double Winda, double Shekinaga, 1 Anata Lilith, mainly for the Alchemic Being react plays. And because you do have access to all of the attributes in this build, thanks to Alchemic Being, I do also one Shaddoll Grista, because whether it's Lonefire Blossom or the Alchemic Being, this does not take away from your main speed combos that you want with the build, and it just gives me another controlled presence against Cleaforts and them. Very welcomed in this build, and this thing has actually also got me a win in the match, believe it or not, so... Oh, I'm just going to put this on for the record right now. Even having easy access to all of the attributes, I refuse to run Wendigo. It's the most useless one of the 6. Ability-wise, it does not help with your OTK/control plays too much. Just don't run Wendigo. You will regret it. And with that, that is my Shaddoll Plant deck profile. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And until next time.